Hey, what's up everybody? It's Josh Thomas from TheBitBlock here. Welcome to another discussion video with myself and my good buddy Rogers Base.
What is going on, Josh? Why did you bring me out of bed this morning?
I literally went over there, tapped you on the shoulder,
You did.
and flew all the way back to Illinois just so we could do this.
That's true.
We are going to be talking about one of the greatest Nintendo games, I think, ever. You agree? Splatoon.
Woo!
We are going to chat about some of the things we would like to see in Splatoon 2, the sequel to Splatoon.
Yep.
Which hopefully has a better name than Splatoon 2, but nevertheless. All right.
Splatoon 2, The Reckoning.
Yeah, well, I was thinking Splatoon with two.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. I'd like that.
All right. It also would damage the brand, so they probably wouldn't do that.
That's
Roger,
true.
we are going to pick 5 things each.
Easy.
My boy.
I got 10 things, my boy. I'm only going to do 5, though.
Do you really have 10 things?
Yeah, I have a lot of things.
Oh, my God. You are a madman. You go above and beyond the Call of Duty.
I do.
All right. I'm going to let you start then. Go ahead. Pick one.
Sure, and actually, fun fact, you said go above and beyond the Call of Duty. Splatoon is a better shooter game than Call of Duty, as confirmed by the Game Awards, which I attended, and Splatoon won Best Shooter Game, so Call of Duty fans can suck it. Anyway.
That's true. Well, I mean, it is actually better than Call of Duty.
I agree. So the first thing, this is actually something I think we're both going to have on our list. It's something that I think is the biggest omission from the actual first Splatoon game, and that is real, local, couch play multiplayer.
Oh, wow, I don't have that on my list.
Wow, how? Dude, that's like the biggest thing that I thought sucked about Splatoon. I love Splatoon otherwise, and I think the fact that there isn't real, 4-person, 8-person in a room on a couch split-screen multiplayer is crazy. And I understand why they didn't do it, kind of, but at the same time, with the gamepad, everyone could have had their own screen. I don't get why it didn't happen. It needs to happen on NX when we get Splatoon. It's got to happen. Real couch multiplayer.
Yeah, that's really true, and it's funny that I didn't say that as well, because I actually just recently tweeted out how I'm super disappointed that with all of these updates, they haven't updated the local Battle Dojo at all. So, like, we get all these new levels and weapons and stuff, but they don't put them in the local Battle Dojo.
Yeah. Well, one thing is they did say, unlike Smash Brothers, which DLC, that now we know everything about the Smash Brothers DLC. Mm-hmm. They did say in the last Nintendo Direct that there is more Splatoon DLC on the way through next year. So I think there will be more stages, most likely playable Octolings, maybe a new amiibo set or something like that. So, there's always the possibility they will update the Battle Dojo. I'm just not holding my breath.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, though, that, like, the local multiplayer options are very minimal, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of have something similar to that. Maybe I should just go with that next. Okay, so my first thing, which is a little bit of a segue, I want a challenge mode with local co-op. Like, I want to see some Splatoon co-op together. I think, like, in terms of Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 2, how you have, like, these great co-op challenges that you can take on together. So I'd love to see, like, a challenge mode for 1 to 2 people locally.
Ooh, that sounds good. I would play that with you. I would fly to Illinois. I'd get some YouTube money from Maker. I'd use this as like one of my Maker pitches or whatever, and I would fly over to Illinois and we would play co-op.
Some local, and they would be cool little like specific challenges too.
Great.
So it'd be awesome. I want to see some, I guess I just want more modes, but yeah, a challenge mode that have co-op would be very neat in the sequel, I think.
I'm down.
All right. What's your next pick?
So my next pick is actually something that is a crazy omission from this game. I can't believe this is not a weapon class in the first Splatoon.
Oh my God, okay, let's hear it.
This needs to happen in the next game. Spray paint. How in the world was there not spray paint in the first Splatoon? That seems like something that's definitely going to be the next, whenever they reveal like a next full-on weapon class. I think spray cans, spray paint, that's definitely the next step. And I think it has to happen in Splatoon. Ultimately, I don't know what they would make in terms of like what the weapons would look like, but I think maybe giant spray cans. I don't know. I think spray paint is definitely like the next step moving forward, and I think that's probably going to be a big aspect of the next game. So, I mean, it's not even like that much of a crazy prediction. It's just something that I really want to see happen. Spray paint.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. That's a good point. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because they've got, like, the buckets of ink, they have the paint roller, and they have just, like, the regular gun. Spray paint seems like it'd be something they completely overlooked if they never had that in.
Yeah, logical next step. And actually, to go one step further, this is one of my other 10, but I'm going to put it in with this, just because I think it kind of mixes, is I'd really love to see, like, live graffiti on the levels. So because the way it works in the game now is, you write something on Miiverse and then it goes into the levels. I'd love if there was some type of like graffiti tagging mode or like multiplayer mode using the spray paint in which it sort of like works kind of like Jet Set Radio, where you tag a stage with your own custom graffiti. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Huh. Yeah, hold on a second. How would that work? I've never played Jet Set Radio.
So in Jet Set Radio, you basically like make graffiti tags and then you go around the city and you like spray these tags onto buildings and stuff. I think that'd be a really cool multiplayer mode if you sort of like made your own graffiti tags using the different paint that's like given to you in the game, and then you basically go around like a city, kind of like Inkopolis or something, and tag the buildings, sort of like as an alternate mode, because right now you cover things with paint. But
right.
in the next game, why can't you tag things with graffiti? I think it's the logical next step. So.
All right, makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I can get down with that. Okay, here's something I think you definitely have. Like, I would be amazed if we don't both share this.
Okay.
I want to see more Nintendo representation in this game. So
I want my next one. Yep.
I want Super Mario Sunshine represented in this game, like a Petey Piranha helmet and like a, just like the flood as maybe a weapon or something. Make like an Isle Delfino stage, like, or just even beyond that, like a Legend of Zelda or Kirby, or just like, I want kind of that sort of Smash Brothers vibe in this game in a way when it comes to like maybe some of the levels or some of the even if it's just like the gear would be amazing.
Oh man, yeah, like Mario hats, there's Link hats. Oh, I 100% agree with you. I mean, that's my number 3. My number 3 was more crossover content with other Nintendo games. Shout out actually to Smashified, the guys over at Smashified who make those like fake Smash Brothers leaks.
Yeah.
They're working on a series right now called Splatshine, in which they combine Mario Sunshine and Splatoon and come up with like boss concepts and stuff. I think that's a super cool idea. Hell, I'd love if the next Splatoon game was just a crossover between Mario Sunshine and Splatoon. I'd totally be down for that. And I'd love more crossover content.
They released some
smart.
They put out some like artwork already for that, right?
They did, yeah. They have like a boss battle between like Petey Piranha.
It looks amazing.
Oh, it looks crazy. Yeah, it looks really cool.
When I saw that, I was like, I saw it under the impression that it might have been a leak. Like, I think that was what people were saying. Oh, this could be a leak. I was so hoping that it ended up being real because it looked so amazing.
Yeah.
And I think like if they do put more gear with like Nintendo characters, I kind of in my head, I don't envision it as being like just a direct port of a Mario hat or a direct Link hat or something like that. I feel like it would have kind of an urban Splatoon vibe to it. So
totally.
Maybe like, you know what I mean? Like maybe not just directly saying, oh, it's a Mario hat, more like it's a Splatoonified Mario hat.
I mean, that's what I would want for the stages too. If we were to get like, stages based on other Nintendo franchises, I would fully expect that like an F-Zero racetrack stage or something would look like a Splatoon version of an F-Zero racetrack. Or like, if we had like a castle, like a Zelda-themed castle or something, it would be like a cool hipster kind of like city-looking castle with like glass. I don't know.
Yeah.
They could do crazy things. So.
Splatoonify it is, I think what we're saying.
Exactly. Splatoonify it.
All right. Your turn.
No, it's your turn again. My number 3 was crossover content.
Oh, but then you didn't get to go. You just said the same thing I said?
100%. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I guess if I could, sort of move this in a different direction, maybe one of the other things that I listed of my 10 that I'll talk about instead of your crossover content, which I totally agree we need to get, is more sponsored Splatfests. I think it was so cool that we had like that Transformers Splatfest, and that Japan, they have like the sponsored Splatfest with like the ramen company. I would love to see more stuff like that in Splatoon, because if any Nintendo IP is going to reference real life things, I think Splatoon is the one that should. And especially with the Splatfest, I would love to see like more sponsored Splatfest, like McDonald's versus Burger King or something like that. Like, it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
Yeah, I can see that. And I mean, I think that's also, obviously Nintendo's getting a little bit of money for that, I would assume. Or they're getting some kind of free promotion or something, so it benefits them. And it's harmless. It's just a Splatfest, so it's not like it's like, oh, they're selling out.
Right,
so, yeah.
right.
And it's fun. I do think those they have the opportunity to be the more fun ones.
Yeah.
I don't think I played in the Transformers Splatfest, though, because I never watched Transformers.
Oh,
so
that's
I had no idea what side.
Imagine if it was like Marvel versus DC, or like, Bob Evans versus Cracker Barrel.
Well, I think don't they usually go with they usually take a company and then they have something within the company do battle.
I mean, yeah, I know. But I mean, these are just pipe dreams. I'm just saying it would be cool if we had like Marvel versus DC, or like Disney versus DreamWorks or something. Though technically Disney owns part of DreamWorks, so maybe that could happen. I don't know. Man,
they
can
could
we
do
get
something like
can we get Shrek versus Wall-E, please?
wait versus Wall-E of all things?
Well, Pixar versus DreamWorks, you know.
Shrek versus Donkey. Who would you go? What side would you be on, Shrek or Donkey?
Oh, I mean Shrek, because ogres have layers, my friend.
Well, they could do like a Coca-Cola or Sprite, because that's the same company.
Oh yeah, there you go. But everyone actually wants Coke versus Pepsi, so let's be real here.
Okay. That's the battle that you want to see happen in Splatoon 2.
Coke versus Pepsi, yeah.
All right. Sounds good to me. Okay, so this is something that I recently... So this is one of my picks. This has also been backed up by other people, so I feel like this is a good suggestion.
Cool.
There needs to be a way better way of selecting levels in this game when you're playing online. Having to play the same 2 levels every hour sucks big time. I have one of my little cousins is obsessed with Splatoon, and she came over and played it, and even she was like, I hate playing the same level over and over again. Like, I don't think that's a good idea at all. It's so boring. Even if you're playing a level you like, you don't want to play it over and over and over again. And if you're going to sit and play Splatoon for like 30, 40 minutes, you might just play like the same 2. You're going to play like the same 2 levels over and over again. Just make it like Mario Kart to where it randomizes it, or you can pick any of the levels or something. Just put all the levels in it at once and it randomizes which one it picks or something.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely something I want in the next game. And I think on top of that too, I get why they did it for this game, because they're just introducing the concept of Splatoon and like, you know, some of the stages, so I get it. But yeah, for the next one, Splatoon's going to be an established franchise by this point. Just drop that. I agree with you.
And like I said, I mean, I've had like other people who aren't even like gamers come over, like, you know, some of my little cousins have played it and they love it. But everybody says the same thing, like, oh my God, my little cousin played the same level literally 6 times in a row. So that's like almost 30 minutes of playing just the same thing over and over again. I hope that does not return in Splatoon 2. Let us pick the levels or just randomize all of them, something like that. That needs to be improved.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
All right, so this is actually one that you're going to appreciate, because we've had this conversation before, because for whatever weird reason, you refuse to play Splatoon in winter.
Weird reason?
Whatever weird reason. The
Morals.
fact that you... No, it's crazy, but in order to appease you, and something I would actually really like to see, I want to see quote-unquote year-round costumes and levels. I want to see levels that incorporate different types of weather. Snow, sort of like during wintertime, or maybe different weather effects during summer, where it's like, you know, really, really hot sun that maybe melts away paint, or dries paint where you can't paint over it, or
rain.
Or rain, yeah. Like, I want to see weather effects and sort of like year-round costumes to go along with that. So like raincoats for rain time, or like swimsuits for summertime, and then like big woolly winter coats for when it's snowing. I want to see winter effects, and I want to see costumes that go along with it.
Oh man, can you imagine like Halloween time?
Oh my God.
Like Halloween costumes?
Oh, for the
Halloween
holidays?
gear?
Yo, it would be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, see, that I absolutely appreciate that and want it so that I can enjoy Splatoon all year round.
Yeah.
And for people who might not know, what Roger is referring to is the fact that I have not played Splatoon since, September, because I retire games that I think are summer when it's not summer.
I think it's so dumb of you, though, to only play Wii Ski and
No,
Wii
I play
whatever.
other games.
What else do you play during wintertime?
I've been playing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Oh, okay, that's a good choice. All right, good choice.
I'm very picky like that. But listen, let me tell you this. When May 1st rolls around of 2016 and I pop this game back in, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be like a whole new game. It's going to feel like the Splatoon sequel to me. Because there's like 3 or 4 stages I've never played. There's a ton of weapons I've never checked out.
Oh, yeah, tons of costumes, tons of stuff.
Yeah, so to me it's going to be like, holy cow, this is the sequel to Splatoon.
Right on.
All right, that was your pick, right?
Yeah, year-round costumes was mine, yep.
Okay. So this kind of, oh, no, okay, I'll use this one. And I think I've mentioned this before. I think that the single player's gameplay mechanics are actually a little bit more interesting than the multiplayer's gameplay mechanics at times. So you know how you can go across the zip wire as your Inkling, you know, you turn into a little blob of paint, and there's a bunch of other like crazy mechanics in the single player. I want to see those put into the multiplayer. So imagine,
I agree with you with the zip lines.
Imagine if you could go on those,
there.
you could like sneak across to the other side, or you can like get into certain areas. And there were like just a bunch of really cool ideas. There was like you could get in a cannon and like fire ink from a cannon at a certain part.
Yeah.
I think if you've played the single player, you've seen a lot of those crazy ink-related gameplay ideas. I want to see those put into the multiplayer, just right into the levels and all that stuff. I think that would make it much more dynamic. I think that it would make the game fresh longer. Stay fresh! And, I don't know. I just think that would really liven it up and add a whole new dimension to the multiplayer.
Right on.
All right. I wish I could remember more of them. I remember like when I originally wanted to talk about this, I had like 10 examples of the cool stuff from single player, but I couldn't play the game for reference because it's December.
You're crazy.
I love pointing that out any chance I get just because I know it really irks you.
It does irk me. All right, I'll move on to my last thing though.
Okay.
And this I guess isn't necessarily like something that I think it's connected to the game, I guess. So I'm going to say this. We talked about, in our last discussion video, Smash Brothers, and how Sakurai is moving off of Smash Brothers, most likely, because he really wants to work on something new. Mm-hmm. And as much as I would love to see Kirby Air Ride 2, I would absolutely, positively love to see a Sakurai-directed Splatoon game with all that crossover Nintendo content, with all this cool fan service, tons of costumes, a challenge wall, all the staples of Sakurai greatness in terms of development. I want to see them infused in Splatoon, and I really want to see Masahiro Sakurai direct Splatoon 2.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because do you think it needs Sakurai? Like, so that to me says that maybe you're not confident in the current team.
No. I don't think it needs Sakurai by any stretch of the imagination. I think the next game is going to be glorious, whoever directs it, just because I love Splatoon, you know? But in terms of, like, pipe dreams, I would love to see Sakurai direct it, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it would definitely. I love the challenge wall that you mentioned. I think that's my I think that's genuinely one of my favorite things about games that Sakurai has worked on.
Oh, unquestionably. Though, if you don't want me to count the Sakurai thing, I will say one other thing that I really do think would be really cool.
Okay.
And this kind of goes along with what you were saying with the single player stuff. I really enjoyed the boss battles in single player. I thought they were great.
Oh, they were.
And as somebody who recently has been playing a lot of Xenoblade, in which you sort of like join up with people to do raids on giant bosses, I think it would be so cool to have multiplayer boss experiences where you could play the bosses from single player, but they've been reworked into multiplayer experiences, and you go on like quote-unquote raids against these bosses, and then by doing these boss battles multiplayer, you get exclusive gear that you could then wear in Splatoon. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Multiplayer boss battle. That's in Xenoblade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is something really, like, charming and exciting about, like, taking on big boss battles as a team. So that would be really cool in Splatoon, yeah. And
especially if they tied that in with, like, new gear or something, or they made it like Splatfests where, like, only during this time of day can you battle this, like, crazy squid for 2 hours, and everybody in the world has to battle this squid. Like, oh, man, it'd be great.
Yeah, that would be cool. And those, I totally forgot about the boss battles in Splatoon. Yeah. Those are really good.
Yeah, and you could tie those in with even the Nintendo content we were talking about. Imagine, like, a battle with the Gooper Blooper from Super Mario Sunshine, or a battle against the giant squid, the giant Octorok thing from Wind Waker, and you're on, like, a boat. Oh, man, it'd be so cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So, I'm going to end this with, like, not a bang, but just, like, a very kind of obvious one, and it's almost similar to something I already said. I want more ways to customize your Inkling. So you can be a boy or a girl, and you can change the skin tone, but I would love to see pants as something you could change, maybe like wristbands, like little accessories, and even maybe like body types. Like, I've tweeted about this earlier today, but like, if you could be a fat little short Inkling.
Dude, I would totally do that. I'd make my guy this
tall.
Little fat chubby. Oh my god.
Yeah, just like different shape Inklings, like different, because obviously people are different shapes, so like to see that represented would just add even more like personalization and stuff like that. So yeah, like, you know, pants is something I know a lot of people are going to say, because I've heard a lot of people say, like, why can't we wear pants?
Agreed.
Or different, like, or different shorts, or just different, like, you know. So more customization. I think they will. I think that's naturally something they'll put in, but I hope they really go overboard and we can just really identify with our Inklings.
Yeah, I think the main reason they didn't do that this time is because they wanted the character of the Inkling to be very recognizable. Exactly, yeah. So now by the next point, yeah, for sure.
Having the spandex shorts always gives me like a Nickelodeon game show vibe, like Legends of the Hidden Temple or Guts. Remember that? They'd always have like the spandex shorts with like the yellow stripe on the side. So yeah, it feels very 90s to me. So
That's a sponsored Splatfest I want. Nickelodeon versus Cartoon Network.
oh, Nickelodeon all the way. Which would you be
Oh,
on?
of course. Oh, Nickelodeon. My boy,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh my God. Nickelodeon even like above Disney Channel as well.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, above Disney. Well, yeah, but Disney Channel. Okay. I thought you were going to say Nickelodeon versus Disney. I was going to be like, whoa there, buddy. Back it
no,
up
then
a
it's
bit.
then it's Disney. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I was going to say back it up a bit. Yeah, versus Disney Channel. Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
So yeah, those are just, some of our ideas, our top 5 ideas for what we want to see in a Splatoon sequel. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of time before we see a Splatoon sequel, I think. Right?
I'd say maybe 2 years. I think it'll probably be like 2 years in the life cycle of NX, is what I think. I'm guessing like late 2017 holiday game.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, this is a really big game, and they can only support it with free DLC for so long, so I'd imagine they want to get a sequel going for the next system.
Yeah, I think a sequel for Splatoon is going to be out sooner rather than later, because it's clear now that Splatoon is sort of in the same vein as Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, where it's like an evergreen title that could just be constantly updated, in terms of its multiplayer, in terms of DLC. And with an X around the corner, I think they could do some amazing HD things with it. I mean, the game is incredibly popular in Japan. It's been winning Game of the Award nominations and stuff. Like, yeah, Splatoon sequel is inevitable, and I think, again, I think it's coming sooner rather than later. And I definitely think we're going to see a Splatoon sequel before we see the next Smash Brothers. For sure.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Roger, thank you so much for chitty-chatting with me. Where can people find you if they want to tell you that Callie is way better than Marie?
Well, they could tell me that Marie is way better than Callie by tweeting at me on Twitter. I'm Rogers Base on Twitter. I'm Rogers Base on YouTube. I'm Rogers Base on Tumblr, on Facebook, absolutely everywhere. So just find me. Rogers Base on Miiverse, which, by the way, I'm almost at 1,000 followers on Miiverse, which is crazy.
Ooh.
So yeah. So, and that's actually a bit like 1,000 on Twitter's like whatever, but 1,000 on Miiverse.
That's
big. That's big. So,
do you draw a lot of naughty anime girls?
I don't. No, I just sort of like tweet about what game. I post about like what games I'm playing. So I did a playthrough with my girlfriend of Donkey Kong 64 earlier this year. People really liked that. I'm talking about my experience with Xenoblade right now. Of course, Smash Brothers with some of the new DLC coming out there. And occasionally I do Miiverse drawings, and people really seem to like it. So yeah.
Do I follow you on Miiverse?
I'm sure you probably
Are we friends?
do. I'm sure you do. Yeah, we're friends. So of course you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Splatoon sequel. I'm excited now.
Woo!